Happy 86th Facebook Live Wednesday. I can't believe it's been 86 consecutive weeks. I've been thinking about what topic I could talk about, and because it's the holidays, I thought a perfect topic would be how to handle all this stress regarding what is the perfect gift to get for your child, right? No matter what age they are, it is really stressful thinking about what gifts we can get. So I just talked to my cousin, and she was mentioning, I'm going to call her Yoda Yoli. Aloha, Deslin. And she mentioned, when we're on our deathbed, we don't think about the physical things that people gave us, but it's the precious time, the memories of spending, quality time, going on adventures, or just having those very emotional bonding experiences that last a lifetime. So I wanted to share some gifts that you can give to your children. It is going to take time for them to understand that these are actual gifts. And guess what? It's a lesson. It's a lesson to teach our kids that the best gifts are not wrapped. The memorable gifts can't be bought. Not in stores, not online, not even, they're not things. So when I looked up several ways to leave your legacy, because do you ever think about, what do I want to leave behind? And even if you don't have children, what do you want to leave behind to make a lasting positive mark? Because everyone, I think, wants to make a difference. Well, maybe some people don't. Some people are fine just, going their merry way and enjoying life, and then knowing that after they die, it's okay. They just enjoy the afterlife or whatever belief system you have. But when my mom passed away on October 25th, 2 months before Christmas, it made me realize, I wrote a chapter in 100 Parenting Tips inspired by the pandemic, and one of the chapters was on how to leave a legacy. And I'll just read a couple sentences. What matters more than discipline? Nurturing and cultivating your relationship with your child, creating fun memories, traditions, and experiences as a family. When a child doesn't feel heard, understood, and valued, the bond you have with them falls apart, and all the toys in the world, all the physical possessions don't really mean much when you don't feel unconditionally loved, when you don't feel accepted, and you just don't feel that you're a good daughter, a good son, right? You know that your parents are disappointed in you, or at least you feel it because you don't measure up, or you don't think that you're worthy of their love. And that stems from how we show our love to our children. How do we create a nurturing environment? So I've found a few things, some suggestions, and some of them involve writing. If you're not a writer, record them. Now that we have phones, we have, like recording apps, record them and keep them on Google Drive or your iCloud. And remind your children or your siblings, whoever you want to leave these memories behind. Hey, you know what? I don't want to be morbid, but I saved some traditions. I saved some stories. And when I'm gone, I want you to share this with my loved ones, with my friends and family. So write down these family traditions. Last night we were talking about, the girls' favorite toys, the trips that we had. We are going on a vacation this Thursday to the Big Island. So I'm excited about that. And I thought, you know what? I've been thinking, like, what do I give my girls? It's been a very rough year with losing my mom, and just, COVID, the whole funeral, the whole thing about, the holidays. The holidays have always stressed me out, whether it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, Valentine's Day, because I feel that I need to make it perfect and create happy memories. And then I realized, it can just be something simple. like talking about their favorite past traditions that they enjoyed. We just found out that Sabrina loved her baby G-Shock watch. And she looked at online, and we just thought, she's like, oh my gosh, it just makes me so happy. And that it's still available. And then Chelsea thought of the Tamagotchis. I don't know if you remember way back when there were these little toys and you could feed the little chick. And I thought, okay, those are physical things, but what about like happy memories? And it would be, you know, when we went to Disneyland, or when we had a picnic at the park and we brought food, or when I took Christmas pictures at Ko'olina, and I told Chelsea, do not go into the water, because I had both of them in their gymnastics uniforms, and she was 3 and she went into the water and I had no towel. And I remember feeling really upset, and now in retrospect we laugh. But write these traditions down so that your children will remember, you know, because they might not remember long after you're gone, but reading them and feeling that sense of nostalgia is a gift in itself. That could just be a legacy. Document stories about your childhood. I've been sharing stories about, you know, what happened when I was 9, when grandma came to school and made shabu shabu for my classmates. When we went to Japan and we had a massage at the Hot Springs Hotel. You know, how we played pachinko in these loud pachinko parlors. I think you probably know that, Deslin, after living in Japan. But pass along skills, you know, recipes, secret tips. We have a secret tip in how to open jars. We have this little red, it looks like a silicone little red pad, very, very thin. And that thing can open anything. And it was sent to us in the mail, or maybe on our doorknob. Someone was running for an office. And it was interesting how we don't know who he is, but he is that thing that he, you know, it's way better than a magnet, way better than anything. And that will probably be an heirloom. Someone's going to get it unless I order another one. But it's little things like that, you know, how to make life easier. Maybe a little tip. Sabrina just learned how to cut a mango today. And I thought that's what makes memories and how to leave a legacy. Because sometimes we don't really talk about like real life tips or skills or little tricks that make life a little easier. We just talked about APRs, annual percentage rates, and how to buy a car and what to look for. And, you know, she didn't realize that it should be 4-cylinder because she doesn't need, you know, a bigger car. And just little tips in doing laundry, getting out stains, you know, but things like that, right? And identify who's who in family pictures. I have a photo. I didn't know who my grandma was, and I didn't know who the little kids were. And they were a black and white photo, probably in the early 1930s. Or maybe mid 1930s. And so I'm sharing it on Facebook, and someone's going to be showing it to some relatives in the Philippines, and we're trying to find out who's who. There's babies in there, and there's 2 couples. I know they're sisters. I know one of them is my grandma, but I thought, what a gift to identify the people in your photo. Because when you take it, you know who the people are, but several generations from now, they're not going to know, like, who's this dog? Who's this baby? So always, my dad was really good at putting the date, the person, the holiday that it was taken, and the location. So we have everything documented on my dad's side. And my mom would be Sabrina's birthday, Chuck E. Cheese, age 4, or, you know, Sabrina's house, Christmas. Something that I would invite you to do is take a DNA test. My cousin Yoli gave me the 23andMe, and it's amazing how we're connecting with relatives on my grandma's side, on my grandpa's side, because it's the Catillo blood. And I wish I had had my mom take it, but it requires saliva to be put in this little tube. And I know at the time, how do you have a person suffering from dementia, like, spit in a little I had a hard time. I don't like spit. But that test is amazing because you get to know generations and relatives that you did not even know existed, right? Because it says something like 1% related on this side, what ethnicity, what percentage. So I don't know if any of you know this, but if you have siblings, like my 2 girls, we used to say 25% Japanese, 25% Filipino, 25% Hawaiian, and then 25% English. But if you take the DNA test, some siblings have more of a certain ethnicity. And then some people might have an ethnicity that they didn't even know they had. Like my friend from Japan found out that she was part Korean. And then other people find out that they're, part just an ethnicity that they didn't even think would be a possibility. So that's one. Start a family tree. My dad started it. I think I have to find it, but I know some aunt or cousin has it. But it's just really nice for posterity, and just knowing where you came from. I'm finding out that I forgot that my mom's mom changed her name. Her last name was Toyota, and it's funny that my aunt married a Honda. And her name was Ine Toyota, but then she changed her first name and last name. Why? I have no idea. But it's interesting to just know your parents, siblings and great-grandparents. But also, do you know that a legacy could just be pursuing your passion and just sharing your why with your family? So I know the other day my daughter said, yeah, Mom, so-and-so has her own business like you. And I thought the way that they shared my passion was something that I could tell that they were happy and proud of, because sometimes I wonder, right? And Destin reminds me, no, you are on the right path, right? We all have moments questioning whether we are pursuing the right passion, whether we're making the right decisions, but share what you are going through with your family without judgment. Share your struggles so they know you're real. Share your highlights. Years ago when they were little, we would always share the highlight of the day and the low light of the day. And we would just do that right before saying goodnight and before saying prayers. And it's something that the girls always remember. We would have comfy cozy time, which would be, at 6:37 a.m. I think it started because I needed a few minutes of just laying in bed before taking Sabrina to school. So she was 6. Chelsea was a baby, and she says periodically, remember when we had comfy cozy time at 6:37 to like 6:46? Just random time frames. And we just cuddle in bed. And I thought, priceless. Didn't require any money. I didn't have to leave the house to get it. I didn't have to take them anywhere, because some adventures don't require any money, but you have to drive to the beach. Then you have to, make sure that the sand is clean from their feet and, from the carpet. And it becomes somewhat of a hassle. But certain simple activities, like I know Declan bakes cookies with her niece and makes crafts. We are planning to do the cinnamon ornaments. Look online. They are simple activities that you can do no matter what age your child is. And I was really happy to hear that my daughters are excited about doing the cinnamon ornaments, because ours are brittle. I think some of them have, cracked. And just know that it is possible to give a priceless treasure to your children that does not involve buying a gift. But it is also up to us to teach children that the holidays do not have to be all about opening a physical gift. It's up to us to change that mindset, because I've been talking to children, and this one little girl said, I can't wait for Christmas. And then I said something like, do you think that is all about gifts? And she goes, no, I think Christmas is about spending time with my cousins, and we're going to Arizona. And I thought, wow, from a 5-year-old perspective, knowing that it's not all about gifts. I know most of my 5 and 6-year-olds, they're so excited about Santa coming and all the gifts that they want. I hope I get this toy, and I hope I get, this dream video game. And I keep thinking, it's up to us to show children that the true legacy that will be treasured when they're older is the gift of quality time spent with loved ones. Because everyone reminded me who lost their parents, Karen, hug your mom one more time, hug your dad. And my dad wasn't a hugger. And I had a hard time saying, I love you, Daddy, except if it was New Year's Eve, when the clock right? At midnight, right when the new year started, or when we left on a trip. But my girls would always hug them, hug both parents, and they would always say, love you, Grandma, love you, Papa. But my mom was very, very affectionate. So she would say when I was little, do you know how much I love you? I love you this much. And she would, spread her arms. And my dad would say, love and God bless on his cards, but he would never verbalize it. And he was never shown affection. He grew up in a very abusive household, and he shared some of his childhood that wasn't so pleasant, but it amazes me that he didn't continue the cycle. I think he decided to break the cycle. Instead of using physical discipline, he would lecture me, which I thought was probably just as painful as a physical punishment. My mom would use her, wooden ruler. So think about what memories you are leaving behind if you are yelling at your kids, but you have the right intention. I have a confession to make, and I've been confessing to Declan. I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling like a really crappy mom lately. And I think it's the grief. She reminds me, Karen, you're grieving. You just lost your mom. It's the holidays. All these to-dos that I feel that must be done. The thank you notes for all the condolence cards, and just, tutoring. I didn't want to cancel. I don't like to disappoint people. And that's the one thing that I want to share with my children, to not have the need to please, not have the need for approval, even if it's a boss or a professor or a loved one, that we need to teach children what a legacy it would be to show children to love unconditionally. And what does that mean? I look back and I think I did love very conditionally, because if I was upset when my children disappointed me, I expressed it, right? And I look back and I'm realizing it is not too late to change. It is not too late to apologize. I've been doing a lot of apologizing lately, and I am pleasantly surprised at how forgiving my adult daughters can be, and how they are open to being vulnerable and sharing moments that took place where I hurt them when they were 8 years old, when they were 15 years old, or how they pretended to like something that I baked, and they would have rather had like store-bought blueberry muffins because they thought they were more moist. And I'm thinking, why did you not tell me this years ago? They didn't want to disappoint me. They wanted to be grateful. They wanted to show appreciation for what I did. And I thought, the pressure of children, if you have a people pleaser and, they're always thanking you, or you feel like, wow, they're really grateful, just know that they might be doing it out of obligation, and they might not want to hurt your feelings, right? And I thought we need to give children permission to share their disappointments with us, even when we disappoint them. And just know that it's okay if your kids express disappointment, right? I had a mom whose son said, I wish I had another mommy. And does that hurt? Yes, it hurts. But who has ever said something out of anger or said something mean just because you are just in a grumpy mood? My daughters, whenever they have that time of the month, they'll be like, you know what, this week I'm going to be crabby. And then, my husband says, this week? Oh, I thought it was last week. Wait, are we always going to be crabby? Because, it's like when I used to have my time of the month, it's like you have 3 women, and our cycles sometimes, can you imagine? This poor man, super, super tolerant, very, very patient. So when he does lose it once in a while, I think, wait a minute, do you want to create this memory for your child? What kind of legacy are we leaving? Not realizing that I'm the one who needs to have more compassion. If parents practice more compassion and less, we need to teach discipline, and we need to be goal-oriented, and we need to make sure that we do well in school, because, if you don't do well in school, you are not going to have a high chance of succeeding in real life. I'm letting you know now that grades mean absolutely nothing. Your legacy should not be, this is just my personal opinion, because some people will disagree. You know, I know a legacy of straight A's and getting honors and accolades and, you know, promotions and getting the dream house, going on dream vacations. A lot of people aspire to achieve all of that. But the more that I read, the more that I learn that, you know, people who are millionaires are often the most loneliest. They feel very like poor when it comes to feeling loved, feeling nurtured, feeling accepted. And you think, wow, really? You know, with that fame and the financial security, you don't feel content? And that's when you realize, I think all parents, the legacy that we should give, not just the family traditions, not core values. I mean, all of that is good, right? The memories and putting, documenting your family stories, but really bless your children with ultimate self-confidence in knowing that they are worthy and they should be able to overcome. They will, not should. I think that's the thing that we're going to strike from my vocabulary, is just get rid of the shoulds. But just know without a doubt that they are destined and they are worth pursuing whatever dream they want. And if it doesn't materialize, it's okay. It's not a failure. It is never, ever a failure. It is either a valuable life lesson. It's either an opportunity to build resilience. It's just life experience that could be treasured as a legacy to leave behind, to show others that they may not have. You know, suppose you aspire, one of my aunts climbed Mount Fuji. She was like in her 80s. But, you know, if she did not reach the top, at least she pursued it. You may not have, you know, reached the goal, but you didn't give up and you continued pursuing it no matter how many doors closed. That's what we're learning, that a legacy can be teaching resilience. A legacy can be creating treasured family memories, and flip switch it too. It's like, oh my gosh, remember when we got so mad at each other? Remember when mom was yelling at the top of her lungs? And we've been doing that lately, and all of us laugh. All of us laugh, and I'm learning not to take things personally, that I could be the butt of jokes and it's perfectly fine, and that during the holidays, stop feeling that you need to create the perfect Christmas morning. You know, moms and dads too, we feel like we have to rush around and make sure that everything goes according to plan, what we think should be a childhood memory that will be cherished forever, that Christmas morning. And then when there's fights going on, when there's disappointment expressed because they open gifts that, oh, I wish I had whatever that they didn't get, or I wish I had the orange one. I wish, I don't like this. And you think, oh my gosh, I put so much heart and soul and money in this. Take a step back and just remember that disappointment is okay. It doesn't mean that you are a disappointment. If someone is disappointed in you, it has no reflection that you failed as a parent to make your child happy. If anything, parents, you are doing the best job that you can. And if your child does not live up to your standards, why should it bother you? Because they are doing what they are meant to do. What if they are meant to fail a grade? What if they are meant to, like cut class and just learn a life lesson? Are we here to prevent our children from making horrible mistakes? Or are we here to support our children throughout their learning lessons? I'm going to reprogram that word mistakes and failures, and let's flip switch it and instead look at it as an opportunity to build resilience, lifelong lessons that they might learn so much more from than getting the 4.0, than passing, having the highest grade. Because I'm here to tell you that I did graduate with honors. I remember, was it my sophomore year at 4.0, all 4 quarters, and I thought, wow, I'm just on top of the world. And then decades later, I'm realizing grades mean absolutely nothing. Someone just shared that there was a homeless person who was a valedictorian in his younger years from a prominent private school. And I've been sharing that. It doesn't mean that you're going to end up homeless if you attend a private school. It just means that we have no, it's not a guarantee. If you go to this school, if you get this grade, if you achieve this degree, if you get this perfect job that, pays you tons of money, it does not mean that you will achieve what we all want, which is happiness, which is, living a healthy life and just really being grateful for whatever happens in our life. So thank you for watching. Hope it didn't turn it into like a lecturing life lesson. But my overall message is the best gift that you can give, the legacy that you can leave behind, does not have to be a store-bought gift, does not have to even take any time to drive to the place to get it, or not even online. It's not even available on Amazon, right? This gift is the gift of time, the gift of sharing and documenting family traditions and your childhood memories. Because if you, one day we all die, and if you die without recording childhood memories, your childhood memories will never be shared with your great-great-grandchildren, or even maybe your best friends. I've been meeting new people who have shared their memories, and they touch your heart and soul. So just know that sharing memories, even the mistakes, even the horrible decisions, those are priceless gifts that you can leave for your children. I know everyone wants a store-bought gift, but this is an idea that can be a cherished gift of a lifetime that will be present after you are no longer present, right? Think about that. Thanks for watching, guys. I will be on the Big Island next Wednesday, the 15th. And I think I am going to be doing Facebook Live from wherever we are at 9:30 a.m. So maybe it'll just be a Facebook Live from the Big Island, and you guys can either ask me questions, or maybe I'll just do a little like what the Gibsons are doing on December 15th, which will be my 87th Facebook Live Wednesday. I refuse to stop this no matter what. So thanks, guys. Bye.